Someone cuts you off in traffic. You grip the steering wheel, shout, and your pulse pounds in your ears. 2 minutes later, the danger passes, and you merge back into your lane. To the mind, the argument is over. However, your internal systems have already begun a prolonged, involuntary chain reaction. Medical data suggests that even a brief, 2-minute episode of intense anger places the body in a state that significantly increases the immediate risk of a heart attack. This timeline chart tracks the physical aftermath of acute anger. Following the initial trigger event, the cardiovascular danger zone remains active for a full 120 minutes. Every intense outburst initiates a documented physical event, characterized by a period of measurable strain on the heart muscle. At second zero, the amygdala, your brain's primary threat detector, hijacks control. The prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for logical thought, becomes less active. Pacing quickens. Without logic to slow the response, a surge of adrenaline and noradrenaline pours into your bloodstream almost instantly. This visualization compares a resting cardiovascular state to an angry one. The heart rate jumps from a calm 70 to an erratic 120 beats per minute. Surrounding blood vessels clamp down, sharply narrowing pathways. Systolic blood pressure surges by 50 millimeters of mercury. In less than a minute, your heart is forced into an all-out sprint while fighting intense physical resistance and receiving a diminished supply of oxygen. As the timeline moves to the 20-minute mark, the initial adrenaline rush begins to fade. However, a slower, longer-lasting wave of cortisol enters the bloodstream. Cortisol signals the liver to release high levels of glucose into the blood, providing sustained energy for a physical confrontation that is no longer occurring. This cross-section shows the shift in blood chemistry. Platelets activate and begin clumping together, increasing the fluid's physical thickness. This creates sludgy blood, highly prone to forming block-inducing clots. The body now forces this sticky fluid through tightly constricted high-pressure pipes. This specific mechanical and chemical combination creates the biological conditions for a fatal clot to catch and block an artery, driving the heightened heart attack risk during these 2 hours. A healthy cardiovascular system will eventually clear these stress chemicals, though it takes anywhere from 2 to 6 hours for the body to return to its safe biological baseline. If a new trigger occurs, such as a stressful meeting or an evening argument, before the previous chemicals clear, the body never fully exits this high alert state. This graph illustrates allostatic load, the permanent wear and tear on the heart from overlapping stress hormone spikes. Notice how the biological baseline never drops back to zero. Over months and years, this continuous load creates chronic hypertension and dangerous circulating inflammation. The repetition of these unbroken stress loops accelerates cellular aging and heart disease, making the frequency of these episodes the primary driver of long-term damage. The objective is the prevention of these uncontrolled physiological chain reactions. Anger itself is a normal human response, but its physical aftermath requires management. Verbally labeling the emotion by saying, "I am angry," reduces activity in the amygdala, acting as an immediate neurological brake on the stress response. Following this with slow diaphragmatic breathing, a 4-second inhale and a 6-second exhale actively lowers the heart rate and blocks further adrenaline release. These regulation techniques provide a critical, measurable defense for the heart, transforming emotional control into a practical strategy for long-term cardiovascular survival.